Hello, good morning. Good morning, Kim.
Good morning, Sylvia. So lovely to be here.
Yes, it is. I woke up this morning with a smile on my face because I knew we were scheduled to have a little chat today.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, I have to say.
Yeah, so please tell our viewers, our millions of viewers, a little bit about yourself and why we're here today, how we got to this place that we are here today together.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, my name's Kim Bradley, and I live in South Oxfordshire, although hoping to move to Wales soon. And I have been, I suppose, working in the health arena for many, many, many years. Can't even remember, 25 years, something like that. And I've been with the Guild of Energists for, I think it's got to be close to 17, 18 years, something like that. My first experience was with like classic EFT, and then moving from there into more modern energy work. And recently, become a trainer. Well, I was a trainer many years ago, spoke at conferences. If you may have seen me there, sort of 15 years ago, 12 years ago. But last year, I work with a lot of people, and last year it becomes so blazingly apparent that people are feeling all kinds of emotional states of overwhelm and loss of motivation, no mojo, stressed, anxious. The list goes on really.
Tired, exhausted,
Exhausted,
worn
mentally,
out.
physically exhausted, wrung
Yeah.
out, really. It like it, they look grey.
Yeah.
It's like looking at grey people, is what
Yeah.
it is. And I just felt really compelled, and it happened to coincide with the 20th anniversary of the EMO modality, which I particularly love.
Yeah.
And I thought, actually, it'd be quite nice to go and do that with a group of people on a course. So got myself on that course, and I just thought, oh, I'm back home. I love this.
Oh,
I love everything about it. And so I did all the courses again, and then become a trainer with the GOE once again. So here I am now, back
yeah.
training, and I have to say it feels like it's not like last time. This is
Yeah.
a new aspect of myself, training with more life experience in between, and it definitely
Yes.
feels like a 2.0 version.
Yeah, and also, and this is one of the reasons why we're here. There have been developments in the Guild of Energists in the
For
last
sure.
25 years. This year is the 25th anniversary of the GOE. It'll
That's
be
amazing.
25 years old in this year in November. That's
Oh,
when
well, we must have a big celebration for that.
we must. Yes, I'm thinking even of some kind of reunion weekend or something at the
Oh,
View.
lovely.
Alex wants to go to the Europa, but I'm too old for those beds. I can't take it. Yeah, so one of the things that I'm finding really interesting is because you were with us in the earlier days, in the developmental phases, and then you've come back after this long period of time, and I would like you to tell me what you found as the difference between then and now. What we're doing in the GOE, because for me it's been a continuous journey, so I don't
Yeah.
have that sort of insight, and I really wanted to hear that from you.
Oh, that's really interesting. So I guess my first entrance into the GOE was the EFT.
Hmm.
Um, and the reason for that is because I was a massage therapist back then. And
Okay.
I just found that the most common problems people were experiencing were kind of non-physical problems like stress, but
Yeah.
it was manifesting in the physical
Yeah.
as muscle tension, headaches, even
Stomach
anxiety,
upsets,
palpitations, and things.
backaches.
Exactly. And I was just like really intrigued because we were dealing with like an emotional situations, but there they were present in the physical. And it was that intrigue that kind of made me think, well, maybe I could help those clients with emotions as well as their physical body. And that's kind of like what led me to the GOE in the first place.
Okay.
The EFT, I kind of didn't really take to that, I have to say, back in the day. It was like, I kind of felt, I suppose, it didn't sit comfortably with me because I felt responsible.
Hmm.
I just felt really responsible for helping people to get some kind of change.
Yeah.
And it used to worry me what kind of setup statements I might choose for people and add reactions and, you know, and also kind of like thinking, what if my results are mediocre? What if they don't really get what I'm on about? What if the results, aren't permanent? And so
The
I,
old negative EFT was very difficult to do.
yes, and I don't
Very
know if it's
difficult.
changed in 20 years, but that's how it was back then.
Oh,
So
yeah, 20 years ago and to this day, if you're doing classic EFT, which is working only with negative emotions and trying to find the trauma that is responsible for the problems we have now, and trying to tap that away somehow in 45 minutes and create some sort of miracle that will change a person's life, which is the expectation of the client after all the hype and advertisement. That's very difficult. This is a lot of pressure on the therapist. It's hard. It can be frightening when people start upreacting.
yes,
And
yes.
I've had my own experiences of that as well. Obviously, anybody who's done this, and yeah, but I mean, it was something. Let's give it respect where respect is due. Before we had the tapping, we didn't know we could change our emotions that quickly. And indeed you can. But there were lots and lots of downsides to it, and it was scary. And also, lots of people just didn't like it. They didn't like it.
Yeah, I think that's how I've kind of felt about it, to be honest with you. So I kind of never really got into that as a therapist, and I tried NLP as well, and I didn't really get on with that either.
Yeah.
Interestingly, got a few, points from it, but couldn't get into it. But I think when I realised that there was this energy door, modern energy, to walk through
EMO.
COE
Yeah,
with the EMO at the
that's
time,
right. Because when I
that
met you, you were really excited about EMO, energy in motion. And
it
that
opened
makes
doors.
perfect sense coming from the massage point of view. EMO all of a sudden says, there you go. That's it. Where do you feel that in your body? Show me with your hands. That's where the bloody energy blockage is. It just couldn't be more blatant and easy and delightful. And we don't have to start psychotherapizing our clients.
It
And
got, well, funny enough, I was on the emo course, and that evening we had a party to go to, and which may not seem ideal on when you're on a training course, but actually our energy was really high. Went to this party, and blow me down, there was a woman there that had a really big balloon phobia, and she was about to have a freak out because there was kids there squeaking and
oh
like
yeah,
balloons, and I said she was like, oh, she was like, so I said, do you mind? I said, I'm on the training course, so I don't know how I can help, but do you mind if we just have a try of something? Yeah, anything, anything. So I'm like, where do you feel this in your body? And I literally, I had her holding a balloon and squeaking it by a few rounds. And that was when, I mean, this was when I was on the course and I thought, right, this to me nailed on is the direction I need to go because it was so logical and made
mm,
so much sense.
and so
Fell in
simple,
love
and
with it
takes
ever
out
since.
all the contortions of the old forms of energy healing. Takes out all the woo-woo, all the bullshit and nonsense. And I love it. I love emo. EMO is the EMO, aka energy in motion or energy in action, as I like to call it these days. Sometimes is the heart and soul of GOE.
Yes,
What the
yeah,
GOE is built on. It was in EMO that we learned about the energized end states, the plus tens,
plus 10 states, yeah.
to understand what that is. And, this all of modern energy is built on EMO. So if you haven't, dear listener, if you haven't bought the book yet, Please do read it.
Oh,
It's amazing. It's just so revolutionary, if you will.
it really is. It really is, and I highly recommend coming on a training course and
Oh yeah,
experiencing it in a group, because it's just the most amazing thing. And I think that coming back now as a trainer, I am also training modern energy tapping, which I wasn't before, but I felt drawn to this because I'm training the emo as well, but I also want to train the modern energy tapping because it's just got its own character and beauty around it. And I like the fact that you are using such positive words. I mean, so like EFT to me was about sort of worrying about what happened in the past and trying to find these setup statements that would have some kind of effect
yeah.
until
So
you got to the 0 point of nothing, which was like saying, okay, that issue is now yesterday's chip paper. If I was to write a book, I would call it chapter 3, done. I'm now on chapter 6, kind of thing. So it's like it's processed, but it's not energized.
no, and it's
As
not, and it isn't fully processed. It
you haven't
isn't
got the
fully
wisdom
processed.
from it. Yeah, you
You know,
haven't got the kind of like gold nuggets out of
no, you
it.
haven't finished. It's not there. It's like you're trying to go on a journey from point A to point B, and there's like a mountain in between.
Yeah,
And you climb up to the mountain, and right on the top, that's zero. And you sit down on there, and you go, okay, I've reached my destination. You fall asleep, and you're probably going to roll back down the other side because you've missed the whole the Glücksflügel. We were talking about this, the whole positive side of the modern energy
yeah,
change. But that's the woohoo down the hill the other side and to your destination. That's all not there. It's missing conceptually. And EMO brought that back into the game. And so, yeah, modern energy tapping is essentially EMO with tapping, you know.
it is really. It is,
So,
because it's so different, where you are really encouraging people to engage their energy hands. You're teaching them energy, and how it manifests and what it is throughout all of the course. When you're
mm,
tapping, you're really encouraging them to be in their body, experiencing what they're experiencing,
yeah,
tapping gently and beautifully on those tapping points,
with love.
while thinking about positive states. And I mean, I've just done a 3-day practitioner training last weekend. It was my first one back as a trainer. Honest to goodness, Sylvia, it blew our minds. The energy was just raising and raising and raising. We were literally, I mean, the plus tens, this, which is your energized healing event, just kept becoming bigger and bigger plus tens,
Yeah,
you know, throughout the course. And I just found it so intuitive. I think because you are working in higher energy states where your levels of creativity and
yeah,
intuition and everything are so
everything.
elevated,
Yeah,
as a trainer, the course just flows in an intuitive way. And there was things that we added in, like for example, day 2, we had such profound change on the exercises on day 2, created untold profound change, so that when we arrived on day 3, it actually was like we were different people meeting. So we started the exercise which is a day 1 exercise, with I don't know who you are. I want to know you. I welcome you. And we tapped through that to
okay.
kind of like reset the bubble of us as different aspects of ourselves than we were when we arrived at 10 o'clock on the Friday morning. We
Yeah,
were
for
so
the
different.
for listeners who don't know what this is the Energies Handshake, the three-step protocol to get over prejudices we might have and shields or reversals against the people that we're working with, because they might remind us of Aunt Betty or an abuser or some identity you don't like for political reasons or whatever. And we do this wonderful thing, which is the Energies Handshake. I don't know who you are, but I would love to know you. Reveal yourself to me. And that's a version of that. And I think that's a really excellent idea to reset the group bubble after there's been tremendous changes in it. That must have been really cool.
It
But I'm
was
also
because
really
we
happy
all
that
used
you
it
used.
as an opening of energy, like an open energy door to merge all our energies into this powerful bubble.
Yeah,
Um, like
perfect. I love it.
where one of the we on the Tuesday on the second day, sorry, we had one of the ladies brought to the table her lack of self-worth.
Oh yeah.
So we raised massive amounts of I am worthy energy throughout the tapping, and it affected all of us because,
Oh yeah.
you know, pretty much everyone has this element within them of not feeling worthy. So everyone had their own, you know, energy transformation around that.
Yeah.
And one of the ladies said, you know what, there's a video of from The Greatest Showman. It's the studio version, like where the woman who sings the song "This Is Me" sings it in the studio as like a practice session, and it's really beautiful and humble. And she's so incredibly shy as a performer, and then she just comes out of herself, sort of shouting, "This is me." So at the end of day 3, we had that on full blast, tapping, "This is me," dancing around our rooms,
Oh,
like, and it was just like our energies were just huge. It was,
this
we
is.
could all have cried with it, really. None of us wanted to leave the space.
I think this sort of thing is really important because I don't think people realize how good they can feel,
Yeah,
that they forget it, or because it's happened so rarely that they're really energy high and encouraged to be energy high, that their benchmark of how you feel good is too low. And that's like something that you addressed in a little video that I really liked, an 8-minute video about what stress actually means in your life. Love that. We need to leave a link to that. They're saying is that people think they're doing all right, but they're not. They're way too low on energy. And I think that an experience like in your training class where people actually, oh my God, this is what that is supposed to be. It's like having, your first orgasm. You didn't realize there was this thing there that feels so very different from just something nice. And
yeah,
to actually experience that and also experience what you are like as a person when you're energy higher.
agreed. I
You
think it
transform
gives
into
them
a
that
different
experience,
person.
yeah, to aspire towards outside of the course in
Of
day-to-day
course.
activities. Yeah, it gives them that thing to, because they've now experienced it. It's
Right.
like
It
you can't
resets the
know what
goal.
you don't know. So
Yep.
if you think +3 is a good day on the energy chart, then that's all you can know, isn't it?
Yep.
And you might have the odd exciting moments that tip you up into a +5, but you think these are rare events as
And
opposed to
and here's
the,
another thing. I think, I mean, normal people going through their daily routine, whatever it may be, they may falsely associate taking the states they get into when they take drugs and alcohol. Then I feel good. That this is what makes me feel better. And they kind of don't understand that these states of feeling better and feeling confident and being funny and being sociable, that they're available without drugs and alcohol. And you can just do a bit of tapping,
exactly.
and
Exactly.
it's, yeah, which is free as long as you've got one finger left of one hand. It's free forever, a bit of tapping. But in case somebody's listening who doesn't really know what we're speaking about here in this tapping thing, what happened in 2014 was that um, I took the trauma wing away from tapping. And so instead, somebody comes in and says, for example, "Oh, I have low self-esteem." And in the past, we used to do the old psychology route. Where's the trauma in the past that causes you to have low self-esteem today? And then we'd find some trauma, and there'd be loads of howling and crying and tapping and all sorts. And then the person would go away, and the next day they'd have low self-esteem again, because that's not how this thing works. It doesn't work like this. And if you keep asking, well, what's the trauma? Your dear energy mind will deliver you infinite traumas. I learned this after 5 years of tapping negatives.
Mm.
It'll never end. It's not as though there's something in there that you can tap away and then it's gone and your life will be completely different. You're just going to keep tapping on trauma for the rest of your life.
Yes. Mm.
So I turned to EMO Art Solutions, and this is EMO again. Instead of describing the problem, oh, I've got such low self-esteem, we ask, well, what you need to get over it? What is the solution? What's the remedy? What do you need to put this behind you? And then the person says something like, oh, I need to be more confident. Then we can tap on confident. I want to be more confident. I'm more confident. And that actually makes a change, and it creates a ladder, because we can go back to the problem. All right, your self-worth, your confidence, what else do you need? Oh, I need to be a better communicator. I need to be better looking. I need to be more beautiful. I need to be whatever. Sun blessed, sun kissed. I need to be more lucky. And that creates a ladder. And every time we do this positive tapping, it goes higher and higher and higher and higher, until eventually the bow breaks and you got this plus 10 healing event.
Yeah.
Then you ask the person, how's it with self-confidence? And they'll just laugh. They laugh and they hug you and they say, my name is self-confidence.
Yeah.
And this is simple. It's easy. It's repeatable. It works, in other words. It just works. This is the right way to do it. I love this because we used to take negative EFT to old classic EFT to mind, body, spirit festivals. And we'd have our volunteers tied up for an hour and a half with one person. And they were drained after that. They were knackered.
Mhm.
How many people could we deal with?
Yeah.
Even with 5 volunteers in the 3 days. Turn up with a positive tapping. Anybody needs more romance in their life? Anybody needs more romance? Starts in 10 minutes, tapping for romance. And loads of people come rushing in, and you're standing there doing this with 30, 40, 50 people. Everybody, I want more romance in my life. I want more moonlight. I want more roses. We were so high there
Yeah.
in the middle of this Mind Body Spirit Festival.
I can imagine.
People were so happy. They were hugging each other. And there was 50 people who had experienced the joy of working with the power of the positives and a bit of energy tapping.
Yeah.
And
I
this
honestly, I
is
can well
night
imagine.
and day.
I say, like doing this training course for those days. As a trainer of it, you're obviously putting lots of concentration and thought into it, and your energy into it. But
Mhm.
I did not feel tired. I did not feel drained at all. And Monday morning, I was up, bright as a daisy, carrying on with a regular day's work. As in past, the Monday morning would be like, oh gosh,
Yeah,
I need to
like you've
sleep
been
for a
run
day
over by a truck.
to recover.
Yeah,
You know,
like you've been run
there's
over by a truck like that, completely knackered and just aching in the body from the standing and the talking and yeah. See, I used to teach the old classic EFT training back in the day. And we're going really back in the day now. This must
yeah,
be 2001 would have been the last time I done one of those. Because in 2002 I invented EMO and so didn't do any more tapping trainings after that. But it was hard work and it was boring as well. It was boring going over the Mary water phobia story again and the flip charts and all that. It was just boring. And then you had the exercises, and people were either abreacting and rolling around on the floor and howling. And then you had to get your assistant to take them for a walk outside in the car park for hours. So the assistant was gone. And then you had the people sitting there going, I'm gone. I feel nothing. I feel nothing at all. I've been tapping. I feel nothing. I want my money back. This sucks. You'd always have one or two of those in the group as well. It was strenuous. It was hard work and it was strenuous.
Shattered afterwards.
Yeah, in 2018, I decided to teach the modern energy tapping course. That's the one that you've just taught. I'd written the course manual for it, but I like
Yeah.
to teach it once just to make sure it really works. And so I taught it at the View Hotel, and it was easy. It was so much fun. It was wonderful, and we had wonderful healing. This is
Yeah.
not this is not just hooray Henry stuff. We had a lady on that course who'd been in deep PTSD since one day she walked into a lift in her daughter's building and the lift wasn't there. The door opened, she just walks in, she wasn't paying attention, just walked in
Oh,
and fell 5 stories and lay at the bottom of that lift shaft for hours before anybody even noticed that anything had happened. And it was so wonderful to work with the power of the positives with this. What do you need to get over this? And this is also interesting. What eventually did the trick and made that healing event for this lady was that while she was lying down there and thought she was dying, she had a vision of an angel coming to her. That gave her hope
yeah,
and gave her life. And it's that vision of the angel thing that's a star memory.
yeah,
You have to remember modern energy tapping course of 2018 precedes Star Matrix by 1 year.
yeah,
She tuned into a star memory as we kept asking, what do you need to get over it? What do you need to get completely healed? What do you need to turn this terrible event into a precious life's gift?
yeah.
Because she had still loads of physical symptoms from this. And she came up with a star memory of the angel that came to her. It was awesome. It was
So when you
brilliant.
tap on that
Yeah.
and
So
raise
try
the
and
energy
do that with
back even
negative
stronger.
tapping. Yeah, try and do that with negative tapping. I'm such a fool for not paying attention. I hate myself for falling into the lift shaft. And that's before we get into the 5 hours and then all the trauma after that and being hooked out and the physical trauma and you know. Um, we did some fabulous deep healing of a big problem
Yeah,
in a 10-minute exercise with positive tapping, with modern energy tapping, just by asking that lady what she needed to heal.
mm,
And I got out of that this enormous wow when all of a sudden there was that memory of her lying there and thinking she's going to die and everything's too bad, and this angel light event experience happens to her. I'm
yeah, yeah.
shivering. And so I was thrilled with that course. I was thrilled with it. So I completely connect with your experiences. I've because I used to be a trainer, and because I know what it's like to teach a course that's boring or difficult, I've taken my experience, which is tremendous by now, getting close to 50 years of experience writing training courses here. That's a long time. To make it so that not only is this course, are the courses that I'm currently writing or have written recently, that they're fun for the participants, fun,
Mm,
exciting. They're looking forward to the next unit. They're sorry when that unit is finished because they'd like to do some more on that. But no, we have to do something else now. But that this evolves the trainer, that the trainer has fun, that the trainer has experiences, that the trainer comes out not like this bloody rock where the students flow over like water and they
no,
remain unchanged, which is sort of the Chinese model of this. But that it's this interaction in which everybody who partakes in it evolves, but especially the trainer, who's got the
uh,
lifting of that entire group behind them. And of course, the more they lift you, the better a trainer you become.
yeah. I I couldn't agree more, Sylvia. I have to say, it is. I mean, doing some of your miracle expansion work as well, it really does feel like getting back into this training again is my next evolution, is my next expansion,
Yep.
and I can feel it. You
Mm.
know, I feel energized marketing the courses. I feel energized delivering the courses,
Talking
supporting
about the
people
courses in
after the
interviews.
courses, everything. And you can feel everything changes within yourself. It is definitely an evolution for the trainer. And I just
Mm.
want to say, if anyone hasn't done any of your courses just recently or did them in the past but not lately, the manuals are amazing, Sylvie. Everyone on the course said, you know, so bright, so colourful, such incredible, easy descriptions of things. Really quite something. I mean, they are energizing in themselves. That's what's so
Oh,
thing. Instead of this sort of boring manual, you know, the actual manual is energizing. So it does feel like you are working in some ways on a different plane of consciousness. And what you're doing is you're just raising people up. And I've tried to explain to people that if you just come on the foundation
yeah.
courses, even, you will not regret it. And it's like you always want to implore people, you will not regret it because you will have the time of your life.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter how many courses you've taken from how many people. You'll never take a course like one written by Sylvia Hartman, because it's just I just have a thing going on there with that. It's it's interesting, especially with energy work. Um, the some of the diagrams and manuals, they look very, very simple, like a children's picture book. And that's not an accident. And I'm not being, I don't know, denigrating to people. But see, this energy, basic energy knowledge, is something that we should have learned when we were little children.
Mm.
And we did not learn that then. And there are layers and levels of us. And some of those are still really juvenile in parts of the energy system that should have evolved into more adult structures, but they just didn't because they weren't encouraged. They weren't, nobody talks about energy, nobody discusses it, nobody plays with energy. Imagine,
No.
imagine some little girls, 7, 8-year-old girls who know about energy.
Mm.
Play different games, wouldn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
And so, in keeping the manuals really, really simple, the pictures really simple, like children's pictures, I am trying to stimulate these juvenile systems that exist, possibly even pre talking, pre writing, pre being able to read. Where we were looking in a fairy tale book and we couldn't read the words, but we could see the picture. So I'm
Yes.
speaking to those parts in us. And it doesn't matter if you are a 60-year-old university professor who's written endless theses or recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, or how intelligent you are or how dumb you think you are. That has nothing to do with it. It's to do with these juvenile structures in the energy system that stopped growing at some point,
Mm.
simply because we got busy with our minds and with the words, and there was no energy body for us.
I can see that, you know. I really can see that because everybody loves the manuals and how, you know, it's like a lot of the people on the course this weekend were saying, it's like I'm learning something that somehow I already knew, but didn't know how to formulate that into a concept or words.
Right.
And I'm like, exactly,
Exactly.
nailed on. This is knowledge that you have as your birthright, as a
Uh-huh.
energized spiritual being. Which
It's
it's
crazy.
just bringing it out to the consciousness of your mind that this is the way what the world works.
Mm.
Everybody just
That's,
made sense with it.
well, thank you for saying that, because that is it. I mean, I haven't invented some weirdness. I have observed people and animals and their interactions and documented what I have understood from that. I didn't go out and speak to a burning bush and got some kind of tablet or something. I was watching what's really happening. And so people have been seeing this too. Of course, they have this knowledge inside, but as you say, no way to express it because we've not talked about the energy body, we've not talked about
Yes.
emotions, we haven't talked about any of these things. But modern energy is an observation of what's really going on. And so it is actually closer to science than it is to some form of religion or new age spirituality. Because belief doesn't come into it. You can just see it.
You can
You know,
see it, you
yeah,
can feel it.
yeah,
And as you say in the training there, we have to create a new set of role models out there in the world, because where can we look and role model ourselves to highly energized, +7 and above beings, like operating at such high levels of truth and authenticity and honesty, and all of where are these people?
I know where they are.
They're
I know where they are. They are you in your star moments in your life.
Yeah.
That's the big aha. That's with Star Matrix, is that instead of having to role model on somebody else who isn't you, which is just doomed to failure.
Yes.
Michael Jackson wanted to become a pretty American actress, a white pretty American actress. So wrong gender, wrong sex, wrong everything. It, the models for us, first of all, the models for the +10 models for us is ourselves at +10.
Yeah.
Ourselves. And +10 is our star memories. So by connecting with that, we get to learn a little bit more who we really are, and then
Mm.
we've got some sort of chance to go forward from that. Role modeling is really important.
Mm.
There's lots of, oh God, we could spend hours going
I
down that
know, I
rabbit
know,
hole.
but
But we
it
can't.
does make you think, what would society look like if people were operating from a higher energy state? And it kind of feels a little bit like, right, I'm on a mission to get more and more people at their own, with their, as you say, their own higher energy states, their own role model for what energy can be, and in all sorts of places, because the more people that can understand this work, the bigger impact it's going to have on
Yes.
everybody.
And
Changes the whole thought field.
it does. And it's not just individuals having lots more better ideas and more energy to put these ideas into action. It is that when high energy individuals come together, then we have human magic. That's where we're creating these group bubbles that become more than the sum of their parts. And you
Yeah.
don't dissolve your individuality. If you are high energy in a group bubble, you are like accessing other people's brains, other people's minds, other people's memories. You become like a supercomputer.
Yes.
And I know this because I experience this sometimes when I give a training, when it clicks into place and everybody's there, and I all experience this thinking with expanded awareness that I can't do by myself.
Yeah. It's the
I
whole
can't do it by
energy, isn't it?
myself. And it's
Yeah.
not, and this rewrites things so magically. Like we've already talked about how in modern energy, the trainer needs to evolve as well,
Yeah.
part of the process, not separate from the students, but actually that they are working together like wolves work together
Yeah.
as a group for the group benefit, for the group survival. We've already addressed that. Leadership in modern energy is completely different from the old leadership models that are being preached and taught.
Agreed. Agreed. I mean, people sort of talk about heart-centered leadership as this sort of concept, but it's a whole different thing when you actually have energized experiences with, the people you're working with, and when you're looking at people like they've got little energy charts floating over their heads, and you can, when someone's having a lower energy state day, and they're talking, behaving, thinking, acting in a certain way, you're
Mm,
just going to look at those people with so much more compassion
yeah.
for where they're at, and maybe even offer some assistance. It really is a very different place to be as a leader in a highly energized state, because you will
Yes.
see everyone around you with such great potential.
There's also another really interesting thing in the old sort of dominance paradigm. When the leader becomes weak, everybody, there's the sharks smelling the blood in the water, and they will pile in on the leader and tear him apart. But in the modern energy paradigm, what could happen that is if the leader's having a bad day, because people know this is a really bad idea to have a low energy leader, to help the leader, to energize them,
Mm,
to lift
mm.
them up so that the group has an excellent leader again who can look up above the clouds and see the future and can plan for everybody and on everybody's behalf. It's
Yes.
just a different world. It's a total paradigm shift when we bring energy into the equation, and I absolutely love that. So yeah, I'm thrilled to bits that you're back training with us. I'm It's been really nice for me because as I say, I'm on this treadmill of doing things. It's been really nice for me to see as the difference between then and now, and that we really have done some great work to move things forward and make better and better systems, training structures that help people move forward. Yeah, including the trainers portal. I loved that when you said to Alex on the Mercury
Oh,
Masterclass. That was so sweet. That was so good to see and
the
hear.
background admin, I mean, just the background admin of the GOE is phenomenal, full stop. I mean, really, Zoe, Alex, and anyone else that works with the background admin are amazing. But the portal, whether you're a practitioner or a trainer, is superb. It really is. And it just makes the whole admin side of running courses so easy. So easy and enjoyable.
We are so committed to making things better, all of us, trying to fix things, trying to improve the experience. Like I'm trying to improve the experience in the courses for the students and for the trainers so that they're having the best time possible. Because when you're having a good time, that's when you learn the most.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, the higher you are on energy, the more you learn, the more information comes in, and the more you remember. So, from my point of view, as wanting to teach people certain basic principles, things to remember in real life, it's of course it makes sense to have people be high energy and happy. Now, imagine what this thought would do to the school system.
Oh,
You know,
revolutionize it instead of trying to force children into sort of little boxes, and if they don't fit in that box, then suddenly they're a problem child, or they need special educational needs, or I mean, having had children myself and been through the system,
yeah, me
um,
too.
and it can be and it just causes
Chronic
layers and
stress.
layers of frustration and anger and upset from the parents to the children to the school system when you have a child that doesn't fit in this neat box.
And
And
also,
having had a child that didn't fit in that neat box, it's it's just not, you just there's no ability to treat children like the individuals they are.
well, if these people had the tools to help these children, simply start by de-stressing them and making them a little bit energy higher.
Yeah.
Whilst you were on a different path of your journey in 2014, I got worried about the state of the world and wrote a book called The $1 Trillion Stress Solution. And that was in 2014. I was concerned that the Western civilization was getting too stressed. People were
Yeah.
getting too stressed, too low down on the energy chart, and they were making bad decisions for themselves as politicians, for as company directors for the entire company. It was just getting more and more bad decisions that I could see, and I was freaking out. And so I also wrote the modern stress management courses, which
Yes.
allow a person to just go in and, talk to people in a company or in a building yard. And we have pictures of our people doing that. Maria has this awesome set of photos where she's talking to builders, and they all got their high vis vests on and their hats, and they're outside, and she's standing sort of on a platform and explaining modern energy to them, and they are happy and giving her big rounds of applause. I love
Brilliant.
that. Yeah, I love that. So 2014, we brought in modern stress management so people can deliver this message of hope and sanity. God damn it.
Yeah, I like the modern stress management course as well, actually. I really do, because it's very, very grounded. And as you say, you can bring it into it's like a real introductory level to understanding yourself better in
Yeah.
terms of, you say, your stress levels and on what it might feel like when you're not stressed. It's just the language and everything. You
Well,
can deliver it
it's
in
been
any setting.
it's like a sculpture I've been working on for like 20, 30 years, really testing it with people in the real world in different countries. Um, there was a insurance company, I think in Thailand. Their entire staff did my modern stress management. So lovely. And then we
I
got the
bet,
pandemic.
I bet they loved it.
I loved it. And then we got the pandemic.
Yeah.
And when my aspect thought in 2014 things were bad stress wise, I don't even know what to call this now. I mean, really, do we need some alarms flaring up in hooting in the street that this is now getting life threateningly dangerous,
Yes. Yeah.
societally threatening dangerous? Our
Yeah.
civilization can collapse under stress. That's a
Yeah.
nightmare
And
thought.
the stress, and it's not even, the stress just keeps piling on, and it's like, you have to tune out of all of the news and the things like that, because everything just keeps heaping on more fear, and it's just constantly
Also,
keeping people at lower energy states.
and this was the thing in 2014, is to understand that stressed leaders make terrible decisions.
Yeah.
They're not leading us out into a better future because they are incapable under the stresses that they are under.
Mm,
And it
mm.
doesn't matter which political party you belong to.
No.
You just make terrible decisions across the board that are going to be bad for you, for the other people, that are going to be hated by the opposition. We need modern stress management in the world. My God, do we do?
We
But
do.
every single person that we are showing the modern energy chart to, I feel we've saved a soul.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a paradigm shift. It's a paradigm shift that the world needs. And well, here we are. We have something that we can start doing. And something that I really like to also underline is I am not saying that I have the answer to any of the huge problems we're being battered with, be this COVID side effects or global warming or whatever. I don't
Mm,
have the answer to this, but I will say that I believe that if we put people into a better state of being, a better emotional state, that the people in charge of whatever it is will make better decisions. More
agreed.
ecological, more far-sighted, wiser, more
Yeah.
loving
Yes.
is what I mean by better decisions.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's what we need more of.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
world needs more of.
The world needs more of. And I am so totally thrilled that you have come back to us and with brought your experience with working with all these people for 15 years. And yeah, let's go make the world a better place, one person at a time. I,
Exactly that. Oh, that's my intention. I just feel like it feels a little bit mission led to just get out there and share this important knowledge with as many people as possible,
Yeah.
and really help them integrate it. And that's
Yeah.
why I'm running a free healing circle with people who attend my courses, because I just really want them to not just learn it, but actually apply it
Yeah. Keep doing it.
often regularly to
Hmm.
constantly evolve themselves.
Yeah.
We did amazing power hour yesterday on the right state to set your goals and intentions for the year, bringing on more luck. We brought on more magic. We just totally energized ourselves, and everyone just felt so much more positive for what they're intending for their year ahead. There's so much you can do with this work when you are highly
Indeed.
energized.
And I would like to make a recommendation. Um, if you would like to work with energy and you absolutely love Kim's energy, which I do, and appreciate the fact that she's not sitting on a mushroom in some yoga position, but is actually a person who lives in the real world, a real mother, a real businesswoman with, a real life, would like to learn more from her, I will leave your links in the description, Kim, and I'm hoping that people will come to you, take part in your free group, get to know you a bit better, and book onto a modern energy tapping training. The
Oh,
Modern
thank
Energy
you.
Foundation first. That's for everyone. It's for self-help and for doing it with children and family and friends. And then the Modern Energy Tapping Pro is for people who work with other people in a professional capacity.
Indeed, yeah.
It's a
Or people who just
fantastic
want to go
list.
deeper. Even people that just want to go deeper themselves on their own journey.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenal. Yeah. Thank
It's
you.
therapy, Jim, but not as you know it. And it isn't just for simple things, it is for everything. Really deep problems, really powerful problems. Revisiting the trauma over and over and over again, like the lady who fell into the lift shaft had been doing for the last 10 years.
Mm, mm,
Nowhere for all the tapping in the world. But
yeah.
bringing in the power of the positives, the power of love, and her own memories. The
Yeah.
power was inside. The key to that forward evolution was there all the time. But they spent 10 years chasing the traumas.
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't that sad?
Very sad.
Very. End
She
the
must
life
have
of
obviously
trauma
had
now.
that incredible experience with that angelic light and that angelic energy for a reason. And it was
Mm.
just, to be
I
able to
saw.
access that to help heal her. So
I re-
powerful.
I recently had an interesting experience, thanks to Sister Margarita, with the heavenly light, which is a when you're in sanctuary and the sun shines, you
Yeah.
don't get sunburn, and you can look into the light. It doesn't burn your eyes. It's not like the sun in physical reality. It's the heavenly light, and that is a wonderful healing frequency. And I wonder if that's the same healing frequency that they do, or they are originally trying to do in Reiki.
Well, we tapped on that last night because I'd read that article that, yeah, you'd said. And so last night, the last tapping round we did was I Am Magical.
Hmm.
And then it just come to me. I hadn't planned it. It came to me about the heavenly light, because obviously I had seen it. But so when we were tapping the rounds of I am magical, then it was like, we need to do some rounds on heavenly light. So as we come to the end, I said, let's keep tapping, and we're going to change it now to heavenly light falls upon me. And we just tapped on heavenly light falls upon me, and
Beautiful,
everyone
isn't
was like, whoa. It was beautiful, Sylvia.
it?
A
Mm,
beautiful energy.
it is. I'm,
Everyone
I'm,
loved.
I am wondering if that heavenly light is what the originators, the absolute originators, were going for.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
think that's what the actual translation of Reiki is supposed to be. I'm pretty
Very
sure
probably.
heavenly light. But yeah, so that was, you keep learning new things. I keep learning new things. I am wanting to learn loads more. There's so much to learn about
Yeah.
energy, about how energy is reflected in language, how different cultures describe the same thing, and bringing that back to reality. And I'm excited about it. And I'm so glad you come back to, you know, share
I'm
part of the journey with us, afresh and
I've
anew.
come home, Sylvia. That's what I've done, is I've come home.
That would be wonderful. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to working with you in the future on various projects. Kim is also part of my Miracle Expansion Masterclass, and I'm delighted for that. I'm really glad to work with other people who know what I'm talking about, where I don't have to explain the basics over and over again or have to argue whether energy is real or not, which is because there's a lot to learn. And we've just done 25 years of the GOE. And I think I'd be very interested to see what the next 25 years are going to bring.
It's I just think it's incredible, and I think that you have an incredible gift for just connecting the dots. You really do, and you deliver everything you deliver is so very logical and so full of love and highly energized that people just get it, Sylvia.
I'm
But it
so
takes
glad.
someone like you to be the conduit to connect the dots so that the rest of us can say, oh, that makes sense. And
Yes.
you are a gift to us, and I'm forever grateful, and I love you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, darling. Yeah, let's go onward and upward. And well, I thought the other day, somebody said the GOE is a force for good. And I thought, yeah, that sounds nice. And then I thought, no, nah, let's take it up. Let's go all the way. GOE is a force for love.
Yeah, yeah,
Bring more love into the world. The world needs more love.
it does. It really does.
Yeah. More love and less stress. And that's what we're going to do. So, yeah, thank you so much for your time, Kim. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much for listening and coming all the way to the end. If you love what we do, join the GOE, get fantastic foundation course to get you started so you can choose which direction you want to go in after you've seen the foundation being demonstrated and the different modalities so you can experience them before you choose. And I hope you're going to choose to do a fabulous modern energy tapping foundation course with Kim and see where that leads you. Thank you very much, my darling.
Thank you. Lots of love to everybody.
Lots of love. Hey.